Mahomes could have clearly had a concussion and then still cleared the subsequent protocol steps to come back and play. So I don't know what everybody was so afraid of and has been so afraid of to be so vocal and outspoken saying it's not a concussion. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Brian Sutterer, and this is your #1 source for learning about the unique medical side of the world of sports. Two goals in this video. Number one, just step through all of the craziness and just drama that's been going on this past week with this whole Patrick Mahomes story. I've been pretty vocal about still thinking this was a concussion, and so we'll kind of walk through some of that. Also, I want to talk about, now that he's cleared from the protocol, should we be worried about any risk if it's safe for him to play, and if there's any kind of conspiracy shady stuff going on the NFL side. As always, if you enjoy learning about this unique side of sports, please consider subscribing, and let's get started. I've been vocal all week that I thought this looked like a concussion, and my mind hasn't changed. Before you get mad at me, the Chiefs never officially said, yes, it was a concussion, or no, it was not a concussion. We've just gotten these kind of roundabout stories that have been reported that, oh, maybe it's a nerve, maybe he was choked out, but the Chiefs haven't specifically said, no, he wasn't concussed. To me, it's as simple as seeing this posturing response, this fencing response I've talked about, that Mahomes displayed after the hit. This is something that was specifically added to the NFL's concussion protocol after what happened with Tom Savage. They apparently missed that he was doing this posturing on the field. They let him go back in, and then of course he came back out quickly thereafter. And so the protocol was updated to specifically mention looking for this posturing as a sign of concussion. This is not a natural volitional position for somebody to have their arm and leg in. Try doing this. Try falling and having this persistent, sustained rigidity of your arm and leg. Gravity should kick in. Gravity should cause especially this leg to fall down to the ground and go more limp in the situation, not stay rigid like this off the ground. This is involuntary. This is not something that Mahomes is volitionally doing. And if you want to say it's just because he was getting tackled, then everything should go limp. It should go limp like his right leg. It should go limp like his right arm. If we look at this other angle, I think it's even more clear. That left leg swings around, and right there, if he's just simply unconscious from not a head injury, that leg should really just go limp, but it doesn't. It stays fixed. It stays elevated off the ground here. And so I see this, and combined with the whiplash that he saw, his face mask made contact with his hand with the ball. There's enough jarring there combined with that rotational twist that you see in his neck, which can certainly provide forces up to the brain. If I see this on the sideline, everything put together, then the gait unsteadiness when he gets up, to me, that's a concussion. If you want to say, well, fencing response is just the arms, here's a classic example, Ben Askren in the UFC, fencing response after getting knocked out, left leg extended, left arm extended, clearly affecting both. Another more well-known episode, Javid Best, we can see this left arm extended and rigid, even the right arm's a little bit rigid, and the legs are rigid as well. So we can see arm and leg posturing like this after a concussion. So all this starts when Jay Glazer reports that it was actually like he was just choked out, like a blood vessel got pinched, and that's what made him go wobbly and pass out. There's plenty of physiologic holes in why you can't have that type of response from just such short-term lack of blood flow there. But that gets this whole story started of, wait, it wasn't a concussion. He just got the blood flow shut off. In his post-game press conference, Andy Reid is directly asked, was Patrick diagnosed with a concussion? Doesn't answer it, says basically he got hit in the back of the head, kind of got the wind knocked out of him. He's doing great. He passed all the tests, so we'll see where things go. But even this whole time, the Chiefs haven't specifically said yes or no to the concussion question. So then we get this report from Carrington Harrison saying that a source told him that Patrick passed all of his tests last night. He didn't actually hit his head, which might be true, as much as I think the face mask hit the ball. But we've established that you don't need to hit your head to have a concussion. There was a nerve in his neck that got tweaked that made him out of it. He's getting testing done on his neck nerve today, but did clear all his tests last night. So this further perpetuated this idea that it wasn't a concussion, that it was just this nerve getting tweaked, even though the Chiefs still hadn't officially said that it wasn't a concussion. So then more people start weighing in. Dr. David Chao, who's got a lot of experience as an NFL physician, said that it was his impression that Mahomes did not have a concussion. In his opinion, Mahomes experienced momentary trauma to the carotid sinus, where the vagus nerve and baroreceptors are located. And then we have Chris Nowitzki, who's a PhD neuroscientist, saying that it was clear that Patrick Mahomes suffered a concussion. Adam Schefter reports that he cleared certain steps, but is in the NFL's concussion protocol with what is considered a concussion. I don't know if it's intentional or unintentional that the Chiefs didn't specifically mention it, but by not directly addressing the question, it allows these other theories to come up that then give the public perception that, this wasn't a head injury, when we don't really have that official report. That just leads to more public confusion about what is and isn't a concussion, and so that's why I personally have been so vocal in this as well. It really does seem like there's just this fear around mentioning the word concussion in football. Mahomes could have clearly had a concussion and then still cleared the subsequent protocol steps to come back and play, so I don't know what everybody was so afraid of and has been so afraid of to be so vocal and outspoken saying it's not a concussion. So let's move past all that. We're at the phase now where Mahomes has been cleared from the concussion protocol, and now people are starting to say, well, gosh, it's rigged. The NFL is just pushing him through. They don't actually care about his health. And we need to debunk that myth. Because yes, you can have a concussion diagnosed, agreed on Sunday, and safely advance through the concussion protocol and be cleared to play the following week, and it's safe. The thing with concussions is there's no blood test, there's no MRI or X-ray, or really true thing we can look at and say with 100% certainty when somebody is recovered. So what we do is we have these objective evaluations with different neuropsychometric testing. We have our physical exam, we can ask questions about symptoms, but there's not one thing we can look at like a blood test to say clear, not clear. So we have to pool all of these different resources together to ultimately make that decision. Yes, some of it you can lie on. You can lie about symptoms, you can fake telling someone how you're feeling, but other parts of it are hard to really fake. We do more objective testing with our physical exam, with different neuropsych testing. That is definitely something that's hard to make up. I'm generally an optimist with these things, and I like to trust the system as much as I can. Yeah, you can argue with me about the bias that the NFL has to put its biggest star out there, and part of the timeline with the concussion protocol was with the idea to get somebody back for the following week. But this is what we have to go off of, and so I'm not gonna question people's independence and people's bias when clearing someone through the protocol. And again, for everybody who's gonna comment, it wasn't a concussion, they said it was a nerve, no, the Chiefs never did say that it wasn't a concussion. All of the media this week has not directly gotten an answer from the Chiefs, yes concussion, no concussion. Either way, I'm glad Mahomes is feeling well. I'm glad his exam looks good and his testing looks okay to where he can be cleared through the protocol. But nevertheless, thank you as always for watching. I hope you learned something here and enjoyed the video. Let me know any questions or comments down below, and until next time, we'll see you later.